Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my Christmas series. So, I've got so much I want to do, and we only have the month of December and a few days back into November. So, I'm pre-recording this because I've just got so many little projects that I want to share with you guys and ideas that have been burning a hole in my head for the last 12 months. So, I'm so excited to actually be at the point where I can just cover my desk in Christmas. So this video, I just want to take you through my ambition, my list to do of what I'd like to achieve over the next few weeks. And that way you guys can sort of see where I'm heading, because I think I'll be doing a little bit of everything from some of these projects, and it'll just all come together in the end. So I guess if you know where we're heading, you'll understand why maybe in a video I jump from project to project. Okay, so I thought I'd better do an introduction just to set the scene so you sort of can see, you know, where we're going to end up at the end. Hopefully we make it. I've been doing lately videos Monday to Friday, and Roxy Creations stitchery projects will drop in on the Saturday and the Sunday. So that'll pretty much stay the same, but I may need to bring into some of those weekend days some of these videos as well. So I'm pretty confident we'll go to 7 days a week again. So if I can pre-record, it won't be too much extra work on me later in the year. So now let's start at the very beginning. We need to make some Christmas gifts. We need to make some Christmas decorations for my Christmas tree. I do that every year, and I'm going to take you guys along for the journey. And I've got plans for just looking across my table, 1, 2, 3, 4 new Christmas decorations for my tree. That may expand into other things. We'll see how we go for time, but I definitely want to achieve these 4. Now, and then some random little projects that I've thought of as a gift for someone, because they may have spotted something in my craft room and I thought, oh, that'd make a great gift. Maybe I'll start with the first one of those. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So what we've got here is in the Journal of Stitchery Roxy Creations project, we had to make a tag. It was weeks back. And I made this tag that's going to go on the spine of my journal. It's all prepped up with the little brad to attach it and a key, and it's a key to the front door for Santa, the magic key. Now, this was with the Stitcheries visiting some family, and grandma, mum, and 3 kids, starting at about 11 or 12 down to 10, were looking through all the Stitcheries. And the kids went absolutely berserk over this. And I said to the kids, oh, you don't have a chimney, do you? And they're like, no. And because they're all very much in Santa's world, I said to them, well, we better get you a key so Santa knows how to get into this house. And they'd just moved into a house that their mum had built. So I've been thinking about this key, and I want to reproduce this, maybe a little bit bigger, and this will be a bit of a housewarming / gift for the kids for Christmas. Then this came into our store for sale as part of our Christmas range. And I spotted it. I was emptying a pallet of stock and I spotted it and I thought, oh, I wonder what I can do to embellish this some more. And this is where the key will go for the kids on their Christmas tree, and then they can pop their letters in there as well. But it's very simple sort of construction. It's felt, and I thought maybe I can Christmassy it up a little bit with my slow stitch and add some decorative pieces. So that's one project. Make a new key, decorate this letter to Santa envelope, and yeah, one Christmas gift sorted for 3 kids. So that's one project. Now, let me bring in another project. Now, tags. Every year we give gifts. And every year I think to myself, oh, why am I buying those little tags that say to and from, attaching them to a parcel and then, you know, adding them and done. And every year I do that. It's like the 12th hour before Christmas and I've run out of time, and I've always wanted to make some personalized tags for some folks. So this year I'm going to do it because I have some time. Rachel's new tag kit has been released. It is beautiful. Rachel, best yet. Absolutely beautiful. Classic, elegant, just fantastic, especially if you're giving gifts to adults. These are just gorgeous. So my plan is, using these tags, I'm going to embellish them, but the twist will be I need to make them into a pocket so that something can slide inside, and I also want to incorporate some slow stitch. So if I go back in time to the tag project we did with Anne Brooks, 52 tags, what I did with these tags is I covered the back of the tag with some decorative paper. In under there is some decorative paper. I then collaged over that paper on the back, and then on the front I attached a slow stitch piece. So what I want to do is the decorative paper part on the back of some cardboard is going to be these. So that's the first step, is get all of these backed onto some cardstock. So that's pretty simple. Then I'm going to cut a piece of fabric suitable in size, collage away, do a little bit of stitching, and then attach them to the tag. But I want to leave the side open so I can slide into there a little gift or a little note. Some of these are going to go to people that I just want to write a little note, just, you know, just wishing them Merry Christmas. So like a card. Others, I have a little gift that I want to put in there. Now, when you're thinking gift, you're probably thinking, my goodness, Corrine, how are you going to get a gift slid into a card, a tag? Well, this year, every couple years, I do a gift of grace. Now, this is connected to my church in Australia, which support communities overseas. Now, you'll see why it'll work for these tags is once I make my purchase, let's say it's, they do all sorts of things. Like I love buying the pigs. I often buy loos for boys. And this is the pigs. I love the pigs. So you buy the pig. Grace for Gifts will send back to me a little card that goes into a Christmas gift to let the person knowing that I've bought a pig on their behalf. Does that make sense? So what I want to do is with these tags, I can slide in my little pig purchase so that I can pick some of these for the lads, some of the more generic ones, maybe just a Santa, and just a Christmas tree, and they will get a tag that can be added to their Christmas tree as like a decoration as well. But inside would have been the pig gift or the latrine. So there's so much fun. There's all sorts in there. You can buy seeds to help someone start a business. There was one a few years back that was a sewing machine, and I bought so many sewing machines, but it's not in this year's little catalogue, so they definitely changed them around a little bit. But so that's where the tags are heading. They are going to hold small gifts and notes that I purchase or, you know, wish to give. So thanks, Rachel. Your tags are fantastic. They're nice and big too, so it gives me plenty of room to do some slow stitching to create these unique tags. Now, I'm also going to be part of a tag swap hosted by Carol. She is Oak House Journals. Let me just check that. Sorry, Carol. I've got so many ideas rolling around in my head that I really need to just double check that I got that right, because that would be very rude of me Where's your message? Yeah, so Carol is going to put a heap of YouTubers in a drawer, which will pair us all up. And then, yeah, Oak House Journals. So she will draw out sets of names, and then I'll be given a name of someone and my tag will go to them, and then they will send me a tag. So that sort of helps with that project as well. That's sort of off to the side. So tags, gift tags that could also be hung on your Christmas tree. Okay, so that's the second project. Now the third project is my Christmas tree plans. Now earlier in the year, I did Scrappy Rabbit, this guy. And this is a pattern that's currently in my Etsy store that we made as a flat piece and then used scraps to decorate him. Well, in this series, I want to make him 3D and make him a Christmas tree decoration. So these are two I've prepared, ready to go. And then we want to make a Scrappy Bird to add to our Christmas tree. And then I've got Scrappy Owl. Now, the bird and the owl pattern is not in my Etsy store yet, but by the time you watch this video where we actually make them, it will. Now, the other one, the fourth one, is a little bird house that I've been working on. I'm yet to attach its little roof, but you can see the premise of the little house itself. So I'm working on the little pattern as we speak, and that will also be over in the Etsy store when we're ready. So that is the third project in amongst our Christmas. So you'll get a sort of a mix of all sorts of things as we work through the month of December and a little bit of November. Now, this project, now this might be, I don't know, maybe too much, but I'm going to have a go, at least try. I've got a friend that I'd really like to make a Christmas journal for. Now, something a little bit different that I've thought that we could do with the journal, because, you know, Christmas journals, daily journals, we've all been doing them for years, is add it to a box so that the journal and the box are one. So I'm not sure what I'm going to call this yet. Journal on a box? Who knows? So the plan is to include some of Rachel's prompts that she used a couple years back to create a December daily. So that'll help her sort of give her prompts to use to work on the journal, because I don't think she's ever worked in a journal, but she's always admired my journals. So I thought, oh, what a great gift to give her to sort of get her started. So I plan to use some of Rachel's digitals, and then I've gone through some of my other favourite artists and picked out some random artwork as well. I haven't got it all here at the moment, but this is Dreamzetc for ephemera, a bit of Artymaze, Sabby Cottage Studios on Etsy. So there's heaps of pages in amongst my Christmas box. So that's just the start of pulling pages together. Now, the other thing I plan to do is I've got currently in my Etsy store also a heap of Christmas journal kits. Now, in that kit, you get papers from that I've prepared ready to go into your journal. I've also created some covers. So they are fabric attached to some card with some calico on the inside, stitched, ready to go, ready to make a quick journal. Now, some people may want to use the calico side as the outside and do a slow stitch piece. Others may wish to use the actual fabric itself. So these kits, I think there's 162 pieces in the kit. It includes pretty much everything you could want for making a Christmas journal. There is antique pages, there are some digital elements that I've prepared for you, and heaps and heaps and heaps of decorating pieces, right down to some slow stitch panels that you could use. So this is just some bits and pieces that I've kept aside so that I can make something as well. I've added some crocheting that could go on the spine or as pockets inside. I had a heap of these little charm squares, so I've taken some out of this little pack, added them to the Etsy store pack, and they can be used as fabric tabs. We're going to slow stitch on them. I've got some words, some random panels just with Christmas images on them is in amongst it. And then each pack has one of these gorgeous Santa images that could be used in the journal or for something else. Like all of these bits and pieces are just elements that I use, and I thought you guys might like to have a sample of in this pack that you could use for so many Christmas crafts. Now, what else have I got? So in amongst this project, I'll be dipping into those kits because I've kept all of the bits and bobs that were left over. So this is the scraps of fabrics that were left over when I was creating the covers. There's all sorts in there. So plenty of goodies that we can use to decorate the box journal. So I'm just going to put that aside, and I will be using some of the digitals that I've used in that kit as well, because some of the tags are gorgeous, and there's a bit of my porch prints. There's so many gorgeous Christmas kits out there, and I've sort of picked the best bits that I like to suit my style out of all of them. So I will definitely be working with elements from that Etsy journal kit. So if you did want one of those to sort of follow along with me with this project, go for it. But if you're doing this project, you probably need some more bits and pieces from your own stash. So just thought I'd mention that. Now, this project, okay, now the plan is, and I've got a bit of a mock-up of this piece that is going to attach to the box. So I went to Spotlight and I got myself a box that has got a hinged lid. Okay, this box will be covered in fabrics and papers and decorated up. This box is going to be where you would put treasures. So you might have your Christmas cards from the season, you might have some photos, maybe just some treasures that you want to keep in a box with your journal. So you can see that this, if this all works, this would be great themed in any style. It could be birds, nature, Victorian, it could be really anything. And then you could theme it travel, you could theme it family history, and then you have this box attached to your journal for your treasures. Now the plan is to glue this piece of paper to the bottom of that box, and this has the journal built into it, and it will sit on top of the box as part of the closure. And then, of course, when you unwrap it, this lays flat, and then this lays up to create a journal. Okay, so that's the principle of the project. We won't get too deep into it today because this is really just showing you, you know, my thoughts and what is coming. So what I will tell you now, if you did want to do this project, is the measurements of the box and what I've done so far. So the box itself is 7 inches by 9 inches. Okay, so pretty much a journal page size, and the height of it is 2 inches. All right, so that's the box. Now I'm just going to jump up because when I was looking for the box, it took me a bit to find one. Hang on to one moment. Yeah, it took me a bit to find a box, but what I did already own were one of those books that is a box. You know, these, they were around everywhere for a while, and they're a little bit harder to find now, but it's like you could put treasures in there, hide it in a bookcase, and a thief would never know that you had something important in there. That's what I always thought they were for, but of course they could be used for all sorts of things. I had thought if I couldn't find a craft box, I could use one of these and just adapt it to the height and size. So that box would be attached to the journal component. So you may have something like that around. These were really big about 5 years ago. They were everywhere and they were often in sets of 3. They're still on Amazon and they're still around the place. There's Paris themed ones and the children's books and all sorts. But in this case, I then found this craft box with this hinged lid, which I really, really liked. If you can't find one that's got a hinged lid, it wouldn't be too hard to put something on this side to join the lid to the box and then add some ribbon. You probably could modify it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be a hinged lid box either. So this piece, let's just talk about this piece a little bit. So the theory is, if I'm gonna make this work, if this is gonna work, is I've got to get this attached to the bottom. I've then got to have a little spine here that allows us to come up the side. Then a spine here with a little bit of space for the journal to sit in. As you can see, my edge is out here and then the spine, so that there's a gap here for a journal to sit in. Now my gap, let's give you some measurements. The first thing is an A4 piece of paper, which is an Australian size, fitted pretty much perfectly on top of the box. So that's what I've used, 2 A4 pieces of cardstock to create this. So let me just get rid of that for now. So I'll flip that over. There's the first piece and it stops there. Then I folded this piece in half and attached it there to create the cover for the journal at the end of the piece. So see, there's the little edge. That little edge caught this folded in half. I hope that makes sense. So my height was pretty good. I didn't need to cut it down, but if you have a bigger piece, of course you could. So under the box, let's give you some measurements. Let's maybe write this as we go. If I got a pencil. So under the box, I've allowed 1 inch and 1/8. I might just zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, 1 inch and 1/8 under the box. Then I've created a little spine here. Okay, now I've creased it in a few places because I sort of want it to, not creased it, what do they call it when you scored it? I've scored it a few times because I want it just to mold around the box, because I really don't know what that needs to be. So I just wanted plenty of movement there. So I've scored it at the 1 inch and 1/8, and then again and again and again. And I stopped around the 1.5 inch mark. So I think that'll give us enough to get around the bottom of the box, because remembering there's glue going to be put here, and then it starts standing up as it comes up the side of the box. Does that make sense? Then at the top of the box, it will start making its way over the lid. So that space is nearly 3 inches. Now, the side of the box, if you recall, was only 2 inches. And then the first score is about that 3 inch mark. So this air is a space for this journal that will come folding back to sit within. So that means I can make this as thick as I want. I can add pockets in here with bits and pieces. I can go as thick as, not quite 1 inch, which I think should be plenty of room. So that gets us to the top edge of the box. Now that spine is also 1.5 inches. So technically there's actually 1.5 inches of spine. A bit is dedicated to the spine and the rest is just air, allowing it to sort of sit in there on top of itself. Then we had 5.5 inches because now we're laying across the top of the box. So 5.5 inches to come across the top of the box is fantastic. As we're coming up, we've now bent and we're laying across the top of the box. I hope this all makes sense. It sort of was a mess in my head for a little while. Now we've got 1/2 inch as a second spine, allowing the journal to sort of wrap around itself. Then my cardstock finished. See, there's the edge of the cardstock right there. So that edge right through is A4. Now I'll just zoom out a little bit so you can sort of see. So for the Aussie girls, A4 piece of paper, and we've got that piece. So now one piece of A4 paper is used to get us from under the box, over the box, and create a protective space for our journal to sit in. So that's the one piece. Now, that little edge, which is about 1/2 inch, allowed me to hinge the journal itself, which is another piece of A4 paper folded in half with a tiny little spine, because it's really going to be just papers. So just a little bit of a spine there. You could make it as big as you really liked because you've got plenty of room, but I'm thinking that this will have papers where maybe she could do a December daily and I provide the prompts and bits and pieces, and I'll probably have some envelopes coming out of it. I'm not sure yet how that's going to form. And then I've got plenty of space here and here to add ephemera, tags, tickets, bits and pieces that she can use within the journal. And I can even add a little bit here because I have this little bit of space here. So as it sort of comes around the journal, there's an opportunity that within that little gap down in there could also be a pocket with some tags, which would make it sit quite flush with the actual box itself. So that's the cover. We've got a wrap piece and then the little journal is tucked on the end there, and the way it will fold back and on itself, it's sort of tucked in nicely within the cover. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Well, it sort of makes sense in my mind. Now the journal itself, I've just grabbed some bits and pieces out, and I'm not sure yet what will come of all this because I want to use some envelopes. I've got some papers already folded that I know will work. So I've gathered together just some coffee stain paper. Haven't cut it really to size yet. Oh, yes, I have. That was a scrap. So I did this a few weeks ago and then I sort of put it away to sort of mull it around a little bit in my head. So I've got all my papers torn, ready to go. They can be stitched into there potentially, or I am considering doing a Midori style piece, but I don't know. I don't know if I want the grommets here on the spine. I've got to think about that a little bit more. So either way, I can easily stitch that in because the spine is actually exposed here. There's that little bit there. So it shouldn't be too hard to stitch it in is what I'm trying to say. Now, I did also grab some envelopes to see if I do a little extra flippy envelopey thing here within it. They'd have to be cut down to size, and I thought maybe this could be attached in here, and the envelopes would be attached to that, and flip and flop and carry on. But I don't know yet. So I've just gathered a few extra bits to potentially be used. But I just don't know. I'm still thinking. So we'll see where that goes. But they're on the desk anyway. That might be a completely different project. Maybe we do a journal or something. I don't know. It depends how this sort of comes together. Maybe there'll be enough ephemera and bits and bobs that I just create a series of stack pockets here. So as she would open her journal, she's just hit with so many little goodies, from ephemera to fussy cut images, you know, all sorts of things could be stored here. And then into the journal she goes, where she could start decorating. And of course, in amongst these pages, I can weave some of, where's the digital kit? Some of the, everything's balanced. See, these will need a little home. Maybe they could be part of the greeting process, or at least in an envelope. So yeah, some of these pages will be torn down. Might as well do that. So size-wise, yeah, perfect. Oh, before I do that, I need something on the back, don't I? Have I got any that are all backed already? No. Okay. Slow the farm down here. I have to back those with something. But they can be woven through this section of the book. So does that make sense? I'm sure it does. Or doesn't. Does it matter? Probably not. All right, let's find something to at least do towards all of this work that I've now shown you that I hope to achieve before Christmas. So let's tidy up my desk and find something that we can do for the last half hour to make this at least productive and not just a yibby yabba fest. So let's put it all beside me. Tape measure out of the way. I hope I've explained myself enough. I'm sure it'll all come to light anyway as we sort of move forward. So what we might do is I'm going to grab some stained paper, and I just want to back. These don't need backing, they're just little decorative bits and pieces that we could add to the journal pockets. They're so beautiful. Look at them. Look at those gorgeous pictures. And there's the Etsy store I found them from. So pretty. So they'll be really good fun to add as our little decorative elements. And then we've got some journal cards from Rachel's kits. I think I did doubles of them because they're just so good. This is just some general fussy cut. That's me getting the page wrong. So there's only 2 pieces there that I can actually use. That was a waste of time until I realized that I needed to print them portrait, not landscape. So let's put them to one side. And let's back these few pieces here with some paper. So at least we're doing something. So as you can see, we've got a lot of work to do. So I hope you'll join me for the journey. It's going to be a busy month and a bit as we lead up to Christmas, but I can't wait. I just had so many ideas. Literally last night I started to have a bit of a panic attack that I wouldn't get it all done. So I was like, right, what would I not do? And because it's Christmas and you're sort of getting to the end of the year, you don't have much choice in the way of time other than putting 2 videos out a day, which, you know, is probably a bit crazy. But I sort of thought, no, let's just think this through. There'll be things I'll have to advance on without showing you every step like I usually do. Usually I film everything as I do it. Hence the hour-long videos that I put out, and pretty much 7 days a week, because that's just how long it takes to do things. So I think with that in mind, I should be fine. And worst case, I can just, once I finish filming something, if there's like 20 minutes of work left, instead of starting it on another video and mucking around with all the editing, I'll just do those 20 minutes and then I'm ready to go for the next major stage. And if I get to the end and I still have a week spare and I've finished everything we've just gone through, well, then I can do something else, and that would just be such a bonus. Maybe I can make something for me. Wouldn't that be nice? I am getting the decorations for the Christmas tree, so it's all good. Don't feel sorry for me. So I'm just backing these with a little bit of my Parisian dyed paper, because I don't use coffee anymore and I don't drink tea, so I sort of use Parisian essence. I really like the colours it gives me. It's a real age sort of look. So if I can back these, if there's still time, because we're only at 36 minutes, we might look at backing some of the tags. Now they'll have to be on something a little bit firmer, like a cardstock or something, where these are just journal cards to slide into the journal. Don't tell me I'm running out of glue. Yeah, I am. Okay, got to get another glue, guys. Sorry about that. Let me just jump up and grab one. Okay, I'm back. So anyone who wants to know, Study Mate Blue Stick Officeworks, and I get the 35 gram one. They do have a smaller grammage one. I haven't actually seen it at my local Officeworks, but it is on their website. There are some also available at Woolworths, and just keep an eye on the price and the grammage, because sometimes it can be a bit of a trap. You're not getting as much as you think for your money. I really like them. I can see where I've been with the glue, and they're easy to apply. They're not too thick that I'm putting a lot of pressure on my joints to see a bit more glue down there. A lot of pressure on my joints as I'm pushing that glue around, because, you know, at the end of the day, we can't be hurting ourselves in our craft room exercises. Okay. So this will give us some journal cards. I probably won't use the sewing machine on all my decorating, but oh look, I say that every time and then I end up doing it, because I really, really like the effect that sewing adds. Oh, look, I will. I've got to do it. That's where I stitch around the pages. I stitch around pockets. I stitch around the journal cards. I just like, oh look, I love my sewing machine. I'm a bit of a sewer, you see. So it's sitting on the other end of this table that I'm working on, and it's calling to me. So what can I do? I have to walk towards it. So I will do sewing. Just adds another element to the piece, and I do enjoy it. I won't film that because that's just boring, and I'll just sort of save up all the bits and pieces that need a bit of sewing around them. Okay, I didn't trim this page back too much, but that's okay. It'll still work. Lovely. Oh, they're beautiful. Okay, let's get that into there. Just take a little bit off. Oh, I've been so excited waiting for this. I do have another project planned, but it may not happen because I've probably left my run too late. I've created a design that I would like to get printed by a screen printing company on a piece of fabric that can then be embellished and embroidered. But the prices I'm getting from some of the printing houses in Australia that do that process are crazy. Well, they're not crazy, but you know, they're expensive. So I sort of want to take my time and find a partner that can help me with it. So if that cannot be done in time, now you'll be watching this video in November, the end of November, the last week or so of November. So if I pull it off, you will see that project launched on the 1st of December. If there's no project launch, you mean it just didn't come together, and I'll have to do it next year, and I might do it for Christmas in July. That just gives me a little bit more time to make sure that I get the right company to print my design onto the piece of cotton linen. It'll be the size of a tea towel. So I'm so excited about it. I've been drawing and sketching for ages, and I really, really, really want to print it onto a panel so that you can just go for it and then embellish it. But I've got to find the right company to help me, and I do not want to go into screen printing myself. So yeah, now what I want to do next is put these onto some cardstock. So I'm just having a look in my little cupboard here to find some cardstock that I could potentially use. I've got sort of random bits, but it's got to be strong enough to do the job too. Maybe I've just got to use some of this stuff as well. The colours will work. So yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully I will have a printed panel with one of my designs on it that can be embellished and embroidered. I so hope I can pull this off for Christmas this year. Like I need another project, to be honest, but it would be fantastic if we could do it. Worst case scenario, I take my time and find the right company at the right price, and then maybe we do the project in Christmas in July. But what we could do in the meantime, so that we get our little stitchery fix, is I could take a small area of the big print and make it into a small project. So it'll be like a taste of what's to come, because I really, really, really want to play with it. I just have a feeling that time is going to beat me. But anyway, we'll see. I will know within the week if it's going to work, if it'll come together. And if it doesn't, we will definitely do the big project next year. And in the meantime, we might do a little bit of the project so that, you know, at least we can have a play. That would be good. Okay, so as I said earlier, these are going to be put onto some firmer paper, like I did with the 52 tag project. I went through and backed a heap of pre-made card tags. You know, you buy them. Left here. Yeah, these. I got those from Officeworks, and they were my cardstock. And then I put Rachel's background papers over all of them until I got my 52 tags, and then proceeded to create a little stitchery for the front of each of those tags. I just reinforced them beautifully so that my fabric element sat nicely on them, which should be, hopefully, the working principle behind this. This should come together pretty easily, I think, as long as the pocket works. I'm sure it will. When I attach the fabric element to the actual tag, all I've got to do is leave the side open so that I can slip something inside. Those little pigs, the little piggies will go inside, and the latrines. There is one package there, and I'd love to do it, but it's probably a little bit expensive for a Christmas gift, where you can buy a whole hut, a whole house. And they're aiming to purchase, well, they're aiming this season, the Grace group, to have 80 huts for this particular village done, because everyone's living rough, and they're like a mud brick hut. How good would it be to buy a house for someone? Oh, it's just life-changing. It really is. So I have one family that has, it's a family of 5, and I did sort of do the math on it, and I thought, well, I have a budget that I spend each year, like you can't go crazy, and they'd shoot me if I did. That budget still doesn't get me there for 5 adults, but I thought, well, if I throw in a little extra, maybe we'll get to the hut. So I did the calculations and we don't quite get there. So I need to have a little chat to my husband to see if he's happy that we throw in a little extra and just buy a hut. But, you know, we'll see. Probably need a family of 10 to be buying for at my Christmas budget price, and then I'd get the hut. But it is a lot of money. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows what Santa will do? I can definitely afford some pigs. I can afford a couple latrines. I think they're $45 or something. I can afford seed packs. Oh, gee, I wish the sewing, I didn't trim that down. I wish the sewing machine was still there, because they get old Singer sewing machines and they were reconditioning them because they just last. They're just strong. And they were reconditioning them and using those as the, just going to trim that off, because where there's no glue, the paper pulls on itself. So I just want to make sure that that's not applying pressure to that card. And I need to get the couple that I've done already underneath my mat to dry. do another one. So what else is in that list? I just think it's a lovely idea. While I glue, I'll read them out to you. I'm not promoting this at all. Please don't think that I'm promoting the company. It's just something that I like to do, my husband and I, for Christmas for people. We don't do it every year. But I just find I'm buying gift certificates from retailers, popping them in a card because these young adults, you know, they don't know what they want. So I go and buy a gift certificate. And I know they get a lot of enjoyment out of that. But every couple of years, I do something like this where the gift certificate is going to something else. There's heaps of charities out there, I'm sure, that do this. So this year, it turned up in my letterbox, because once you do it once, you're on the mailing list. Turned up in my letterbox, and I was just starting to think about all of these gifts and gift certificates. I thought, oh. And this Christmas, we're going to be on the road and visit a few people as we sort of travel the countryside. So I thought, well, you should take something with you, especially if there's a few of them, they're going to give us a bed for the night as we move around, which is so generous. I'm so pleased, because blowed if you can get a hotel, especially when you start thinking about this in November. So the plan is to sort of lob into a few mates, grab a bed for the night, say hello, visit a few in their town, and then mosey on to the next port of call. So it'd be about a week of driving the countryside. Not too far, but we thought we might make a bit of a voyage of it, catch up with a few people. And then I started thinking, well, I should take a little gift. A lot of them are keen gardeners, so that's pretty simple. And then I thought, oh, then I've got to carry 6 plants as I go. And we usually take eskies of food with us, you know, nibbly platters that when I get there I can just put a bit of a platter towards the cooking that they usually do. Lots of barbecues in Australia. So this is where this project came to be. And when Rachel did these tags, I thought, oh, how gorgeous. Something so gorgeous could be used as my base, and then I put a little bit of embroidery on top. They won't be too full on. Well, I say that. And then that can then be attached. We create the pocket, and for those that I want to add a little gift, I can, or a thank you note, I can. And then if I add a ribbon to it, it could be added to their Christmas tree, or look, to be honest, they could gift it next year to someone else. They may want to re-gift it, which is fine by me. Does not concern me in the least. I think it's a lovely idea. So as I was going to say, I was going to talk about some of the things that I can choose. So the first one is a pig. I love the pig. So the pig is in there, and I think it's $45. So that's for close family and friends. That's pretty much the budget. So there'll be a few pigs for the boys. The next one I can see on the page, I'm just going to read off the brochure, is a mosquito net. And the mosquito net is like $4. So for a little gift for, say, a neighbour, or, you know, and a little thank you note for whatever they may have done for me for the year, I think that's nice. Maybe I'm being stingy, I don't know. But a mosquito net means a lot to the community. And look at the little girl, like, look at her face. Look at her, she's so gorgeous. And a little mosquito net. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm getting all mushy. Let's turn the page in the brochure and see what else there is. An egg starter kit. This is a good one too, especially for the young adults in our circle that are starting to think about their future, and some of them are always like, oh, I want to start a business, I want to do this. They all want to be personal trainers. Have you noticed? They all want to be personal trainers. But anyway, they're at least thinking about their future. An egg starter one is, what do? They get 30 chickens, and they can sell the eggs and make more chickens, and it helps pay for school fees. So it's something they give to young people starting like a little business. This is a farming kit where they get bags of seeds, different types of seeds, and pumpkins and tomatoes. Then they get tools, a sickle, a spade, a mattock, to process their little farm. So that's good. There's the latrine. Isn't it just fantastic? Gosh, I grew up on a farm, so we had what we call a thunderbox. Pretty much the same thing. And it's so good. It just gives privacy, the sanitation qualities of it, you know, and it's somewhere safe for the girls that they can go to and not have some issues. I don't need to say too much more about that, but you can imagine their world. So I really like the latrine. So a few of the men will get latrines. The next one on that page is, it's water for a school. It's a little bit out of my budget. I don't have a family group big enough that if I added all of the little amounts of money together, I would get that, because it's like $1,200. But it brings water, plumbing, to a school, so the kids get fresh water to drink. So would have to have a chat to hubby and just see how we go on that one. It's called Washout. Now, if I turn the page, I'll see what else we've got. So I'll just get this glued down, all my tags. I wonder if I'll get all these done. I doubt it. What I need to do when I finish this video is do a bit of a head count of how many people I definitely know I need a tag for, and then I've set my target and I'll work towards that. What else is in my little book? Let's turn the page. This one's for women in Nepal. What are they doing? Using a drip irrigation system, watering cans, sprayers, they grow their own vegetables to sell. Irrigation packs, it's $6. So, really, really cool. The only thing I don't know about this idea is they're going to send me something that I could put inside the tag. How big is that? I just had a thought. So it might not fit. Is there any information? Press out to hang on a Christmas tree. Okay, that's right. So I haven't done this for... You'll get a bright yellow envelope, and each envelope has a card in it with what the gift was. And then this grace can be pressed out. And I think I saw that somewhere. Oh, here. Is this the envelope? There's the thingy. It's too big. But that's all right. So this is it. Okay, that's great. So now we know what we're getting in the mail. So that'll work. That can slide in, and then this little tab hanging out, there's our tab to pull it out. So they pull that out, and there it talks about what we purchased. Yes, it'll work, it'll work. Press the ball out and hang it on your Christmas tree as a reminder for the gift of grace. All right. Beautiful. That will work. Yeah. I could even, look, there's a hole here. So what we could do is we slide it in this way and we put a little ribbon on there that can pull it out. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, that answers that question. And then that's the card. So, yeah, great. Awesome. So what else have we got to pick from? Let's keep going. We're running out of time. We've hit the hour already. So bank on it. That stores grain as a secure, safe, waterproof place. It's like having a pantry. A school set for kids to go to school. They get 4 exercise pads, pens, pencils, erasers. A Modesty Dignity pack with some hygiene products. What else we got? Help with some shelter. This is the house. Look at the house. Isn't it gorgeous? Brick by brick. So that's the house. I'd love to do a house. That's it. Now it's just talking about some previous packs. So, oh no, there's more. Emergency food, helping hand, a typewriter, oh, and some trees, some saplings, building something for the environment. Chickens. So we can buy chickens to start a chicken farm. Something to do with the veterinary pack for animals in the village. Oh, look at this. This is build a whole farm where they grow bananas and everything. That's a big package. So that's it. So I've just got to sit down, work out who I'm buying for that I'm going to see in my Christmas travels, and then fill it out, send it away, and then we'll get the card and we can then start working out how many tags we need. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun, guys. Please don't think I'm promoting that business. I'm not. That's just in my world and I'm just sharing it with you. If you would like to participate in it, by all means, send me a message and I'll send you the details of that company. It's connected to my church, the Lutheran Church. You should be able to find it anyway if you Googled it. Gifts of Grace, I think it's called, the project. You can by all means just pop on over there and do your own thing. I'm not wanting any money through me to go to them at all. It is just what I'm up to this Christmas. Gosh, next year it could be gift vouchers from Myer and David Jones and all of those guys. So yeah, it's just this year I've decided that I'm going to do some gifts of grace, which would be a bit of fun, and then make something personal from me for those gifts. Okay, I'm going to stop the video there because I only have one more tag to do and they're all done. Yep, one more. I might as well finish it. What's a few extra minutes? Oh goodness, it's all sliding away. So that's the plan. I need a piece of cardstock. No, it's not open. This cardstock I just got from the $2 shop down the road. There's heaps of it around. Can't get into it. I might have to stop the video. It's going to go over time by the time I wrestle the plastic wrapping on this. It's not a heavyweight one. It's 220 GSM and it's A4 size. Oh, Pepper and Bandit are playing. Racing around my garden bed, wrecking it. I wonder what they're going to give me this year for Christmas. Bandit's going to buy me a new outdoor setting because he ate the last one. Pepper's going to buy me a couple $100 worth of plants because she's pretty much destroyed all my favourites. They're both looking in the door at me going, "Hi, Mum. We've just been running around like idiots." A Bet you they get me nothing but a sloppy kiss. I say, give me a cuddle. It's the best I'm going to get from those hounds. Last one. So I hope you join me for my Christmas projects. We've got a lot to do. Oh boy. It's all sitting beside me on the carpet, beside me on the floor, and oh gosh, hours and hours of fun. So we've got our tags, we've got our Christmas tree decorations, we've got the journal on a box. The envelope with the house key in it, and maybe a slow stitch project if I can find a printing house to pull it off. If not, we'll definitely do a little morsel of it, a little test. It won't hurt to test it, I guess. You know, at the end of the day, I go to print it on a piece of linen and then find that the design is just not as good as I thought it was to actually do. I can't imagine that's the case, but you know what I mean. Probably wouldn't hurt to do a test. Okay, guys, that's it. I will leave you for now, and we'll let these dry, and I will see you in the next video as we slowly trundle our way to Christmas. Thanks for joining me. I do appreciate all your gorgeous comments. You just are the best. I tell you, you really just make my day with your comments. Thank you, and I will see you all in the next Christmas video. Bye for now.